Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox, the first live episode in a little bit since last week. And though I do notice that we did okay with the replays. I don't know if we're pulling one over anybody's eyes, but the numbers on the replays are better than the original airing. So what does that say to us, Chef Defo DeForest?
People miss it the first time, I guess. I don't know.
It,
Well, no, they realize the brilliance that's involved in the program. Once you get going, I mean, that was some performance you had at Texas Roadhouse. I have to say, even Lubie and I were somewhat stunned by your ability to consume the various dishes that were put out there by Ed Garcia and his people. My God, what did they not feed us there? And I think they further hammered home the point to you that you cannot judge a chain by the fact that it's a chain. You really have to do some deeper diving into how they operate and what a tremendous business model these guys have. That
yeah,
was an
well,
amazing experience.
two things. Going back to point number one, I think what it says that when the replays do better than the originals is that we should take more vacations.
I'm all for replaying like the last 2 years. I mean, coming back in 2026.
So that's number one. Number two, you're absolutely correct about Ed Garcia and what they do at Texas Roadhouse. It is a little bit of a misnomer to call them a chain, even though I was shocked to discover they have 650 locations around the U.S., plus another 40 worldwide. But like you said, it's got that homey touch because each one of them are, I guess, individually owned and operated. And they, the people who are the operators, the franchisees, they're heavily vetted. And obviously, they're doing a great job to give it that homey feel. And I actually rewatched the show. My favorite part of it was when I did that first big bite of the whole potato skin, which to me wasn't that big of a
That
bite.
was nothing. That was like
But-
a layup for you.
But the look of absolute, like it was a mixture of horror and also a little bit of delight from Ed Garcia to just see me like it was like watching a snake, I guess, at a terrarium when they first swallow a chipmunk or something like that. You just think, did I just see that? Did he really just put the whole thing just down in one gulp?
You later, though, distinguished the program with a big bite of whatever that burger was that then you became like a giant fan of. I mean, you started including it in when people were saying, hey, we're going to get the best burger. You actually threw in a little Texas Roadhouse reference, one of your posts.
The thing I guess that impressed me most, besides the quality of it, and it was absolutely delicious, and it's called the Smokehouse Burger. It's got a little barbecue sauce, and three of my favorite elements on any burger besides cheese is grilled onions, grilled mushrooms, and pickles. And that burger had all three of them. And we're hearing a lot of griping lately about cost of meals and cost of burgers at any restaurant, whether it's fast food, sit down. This thing was what, $13.99, and it included fries.
Yes.
And I had an experience at a McDonald's where I got like a quarter pounder, one of these value meals that they call it, blatant misnomer, but
Yep.
I kind of upgraded, I think, to a shake, so that might have kicked it in. But I had like a Big Mac value meal with the fries. Big Mac, a quarter pounder with cheese. And it took me a half hour to get it. It was one of those McDonald's where they apparently just didn't realize people come and order food at 11:30 at night. And they tell you to pull over to the side up front. And I'm just
Always
waiting,
hate that. Always
waiting,
hate that.
waiting. And it's like, it actually took me 27 minutes from the time I
Jesus.
ordered it to getting it. And the total was $14 and change.
Wow. For this one meal?
Yeah, I upgraded to the shake. Okay. So
Would have been 11.
That's about $4 right there.
yeah, Texas Roadhouse, $13.99. Okay, that's not including the drink, but if you just have water,
Vastly superior, you would have to say.
I mean, comparable.
it was really good. But
Yeah.
here we are, a few days later. I don't know if I'm rested and refreshed because let me tell you, gentlemen, there's nothing like an overloading of the senses than spending a few days in New York City. Defo, I don't know the last time.
Where did you not eat? I guess was the question.
Where did I not
And you're
eat?
going to blame your daughter, which she had nothing to do with it. You were dragging her to all of these places, but it was pretty incredible. I mean, just based on the number of pictures from a variety of places that you sent us, which I don't even know if I was included in all of these threads because I might have called for an intervention at some point. But where weren't you, Mike Mayo, in New York City, and how would you define the current New York City dining scene? Does it meet up to your rather high standards in terms of rating a city on dining?
Well, I'm gonna give the full recap later. There was good, bad, ugly, expensive, not expensive, disappointing, uh, and one of the best meals I ate in my life. But before I get to that, I mean, the reason I feel good about all this eating, and I did not get on a scale, and the scale is going to come this Sunday. I'm going to actually get on the scale and start just kind of a benchmark of where I'm beginning when, and the beginning is going to be, I guess, the heaviest weight of my life I can imagine. But I do want to give you some numbers to start. I don't know if you have a calculator in front of you, but Luby, maybe you can do this. I'm going to give you these four numbers because I was there basically 4 full days: Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. 7.3, 10.8, 3.9, and 7.8. And do you know what that tallies?
Was the state, city, county, and metro tax that you paid on whatever you ate?
No, this is actually the amount of miles that I walked over the 4 days. And you
It's
know what?
almost 30 miles. It's 29.8 miles.
And do you know what else that leads to? Is heavy chafing. Right now, today,
Oh yeah, you can't move your.
my inner thighs are
Yeah.
not any place that you
Well,
want to
that's
be
not a good
or
sign when they're
see.
rubbing together at at that level. I mean, it's a sign that other factors have come into play that are negative.
Yeah, I mean, just when I was going to get down on myself for that
Yeah.
kind of, like you'd say, like Brendan Fraser in The Whale, or some other heavy duty eaters in the world of cinema or whatever. But how many of them walk 30 miles in 4 days? So that's
That's a good number. No,
That's
we'll give you that.
It's a
That's
good number.
excellent. Yeah.
Did all kinds of hikes, hiked over the Brooklyn Bridge with my daughter. Some, before I get into the
At what
eating,
point did you think about jumping? At any point?
there's several points,
Yeah.
especially when dealing with an 18-year-old who would go into teenage mode at some points. But
Well, you think she really wanted to hang out all 4 days just with you? Were there any other
we did okay.
people her age involved in this thing, or is it just
No,
you and
but
her?
no, and that I do give her credit because she did have to put up with some,
I
some
don't know about
ridiculous
hanging out with
things.
you 24 hours a day,
Yeah,
Mayo. I mean, it's tough enough to get through this hour. But
Yes.
and maybe the few moments before and after the show. But I mean, to spend 4 days with you as somebody with a major discrepancy in age and desire and probably outlook on life at this point, I'd have to applaud her if she didn't at some point attempt to strangle you.
No, we compromised. I did what she wanted to do, and
All right.
we did. At some points, she did what I wanted to do. There were many highlights non-eating. I mean, we did. First of all, Brooklyn. I mean, this is our native borough. Defo. You wouldn't believe what's going on in downtown
I can't even
Brooklyn.
imagine. Yeah.
Williamsburg, places that you wouldn't be caught dead at any time of day or night. Bushwick, Williamsburg.
The Williamsburg Y, though, was a central point in my childhood.
Was
Really
it?
was, yeah.
Because I was taught never to go anywhere near, some of these neighborhoods down by the East River, and
It probably was a good idea not to go to those neighborhoods, but we had to venture in there. It was just part of the trip.
but now it's booming. It's like Wynwood, on steroids. It's all these places have gotten built up, construction cranes everywhere. These new
It's like the
high-rise
brownstones. You could have bought
buildings.
one for like $1.50 when I was living in Brooklyn. I mean,
Ex-
like literally $1.50.
Exactly. Yeah, some of them they were
They were
giving away.
decrepit, condemned, crack houses. Places where nothing good was happening. And now I would imagine that's pretty pristine property.
Yeah, all over Brooklyn. I mean, and I spent a day at what's called Dumbo, it's down under the Manhattan Bridge overpass. It's kind of this area in between.
Would you
where-
tap out on a poker game? You were under the bridge one
it's-
night. No wonder.
it's-
That's how you
where
get
they have-
tired of being with you.
They have all these things now, like this timeout market, the food halls, and they have all these like branches. Like, this is the other thing that got me is New York has turned into like Disney World, where there's lines everywhere. You have to like queue up in lines everywhere, and it's all these like offshoots of original places. It's not like chains per se, but names that you grew up with, like Juniors, which used to be just one location on Flatbush Avenue in Brooklyn. Now there's like 17 of them, and they had one at LaGuardia Airport this morning. They have one at this Time Out Food Market. They have one. It's just
Yes, all over the place.
everything has become a spin-off and like a miniature chain. Which I don't know if that's good or bad. I mean, I guess they replicate it's the same product, but now it's being made in a kind of factory central commissary and shipped out somewhere. Same thing goes with bagels. These H&H bagels now. It used to be just
Oh
one
yeah, that's like all
store.
over the place.
Anyway, that was a little dismaying, but I'm all over the place because just New York is such a scattered city, and even at some points, driving through Brighton Beach, where my mother grew up, and I was showing my daughter around there, and we went underneath the elevated subway tracks in a car. And it's like trains are coming overhead. People are darting in between, crossing the street against the light. There's pedestrians. There's people on bikes. There's delivery people. Everybody, all the delivery men are on bicycles and mopeds and like motorized skateboards. I mean, people are just like coming in every direction, like atoms in a completely madhouse neutron, or I don't even know what I'm talking about, like a physics. It's just like colliding atoms, and you just have to pay attention everywhere and use all your senses all the time, and it's freaking exhausting. I tell you, it's just what was the last time you were in Brooklyn, Defo?
Oh, I don't even know. It had to be years ago. I haven't been to New York for a while. Brooklyn, quite some time ago, I want to say. I mean, I grew up there in the 50s, though. So, I mean, it was an entirely different world. So was the universe in general. But yeah, it was
Yeah,
a
no,
different place
it was a
for
different
sure.
place, but you got to be on your game there. And just every time, when you're going up and down the sidewalks in Manhattan, it's just such a crush of people, and it just gets a little bit claustrophobic. We did ride the subway trains, even though Natalia's mother instructed her not to, because
What?
there's all these, there's all this scaremongering
A
going
lot of
on.
maniacs out there.
Well, there's maniacs, people getting shoved into the tracks, people getting shot at subway stations. But you know how the media sensationalizes things, and it's just not as bad as it seems. The hub and spoke of New York is still
Yeah.
transporting 2 million people a day, and it really is the best way to get around, because the worst way is by core. I mean, it's like one day we got caught in traffic. It took me literally 35 minutes to go 1.2 miles, and I just said we could have gone better walking, but had a rental car for a couple days in Brooklyn. We had to get some gas before we returned the rental car in Manhattan. Anyway, this is all leading up to the big eating. And do you want to start with some like ugly stories and ugly Mayo?
Wherever you want to start.
Okay, well, we'll start with the ugly because I'm a negative guy. But I had some very high priced meals. I don't even want to total up the amount of money that was totally spent. But I got most incensed over $3 that was not returned to me, and this was from one of these sidewalk vendors outside the Brooklyn Botanical Gardens. Okay,
I thought it was over house mustard at Woe Hop.
it's close.
Doesn't it come with that?
Had some good house mustard at the Second Avenue Deli yesterday, but that's another story. But okay, so outside these attractions, it was the Brooklyn Botanical Gardens. It was a gorgeous day on Sunday. We did walk through there in the morning. There wasn't much in the way of flower activity yet, but the cherry blossoms are in early bloom, and that's quite a beautiful sight. But after walking around there, a little bit thirsty, and there's a woman, enterprising young woman, who had a little cooler full of drinks and sodas and water. I just wanted one bottle of water, and she said $2. Seemed to be an immigrant. I don't want to cast any aspersions whether she was here with proper papers or not, but she's parked out in front. She says $2. All I have is a $5 bill. I give her the $5 bill. I have the bottle of water, and she just looks at me like I have five heads. And I was like,
She expects a tip on bottles of water.
I was
Was
like,
she a gypsy? I mean, what's the deal?
I said, cambio, please. And she said, no, I don't have any.
Yeah,
I don't have any
She's
dollars.
conveniently out of
that's
ones.
such a New
Yeah,
York.
out of ones. And,
Even though she's charging $2 a pop, must have got a lot of fives.
Yeah, where are
Ah.
yeah, exactly.
I said, no. I said, you've been standing here all day selling sodas and you don't have $3. I said, no creo. I don't believe you. I call BS. And
Get
she
outta
just
here.
looks at me with this blank stare and says, "I don't speak English."
Yeah, right. Which
And
she's
then she hands me another bottle of water, like, "Oh, 2 for $5 all of a
Well, that'll
sudden
make
is
up for it. Sure. Should
is
have been
better
3
than."
for $5 at that point, no?
Well, at this point, I was so thirsty, I had already cracked open the bottle and took a swig.
Did you call the cops?
My
What
daughter
happened?
said I should have just snatched the 5 back, and then she would have found the 3 singles in a hurry if I
I
walked
got your
off.
change. Your change.
I ended up just taking the second bottle of
yeah.
water,
What are you gonna do?
let her keep the 5, and I
You're
said,
still bitter about it, though.
I said, "You're a thief." I didn't.
You said that to her? Wow.
I might have said it with a couple of curse words in between. I said, "You're a effing
Welcome to New
thief."
York. I mean, you got your whole New York spirit back in one lame incident. It's amazing. All these other experiences paled in comparison to getting fucked over. Sorry, I mean, screwed over by
No,
this
that's.
woman.
I said,
Yeah.
"You're a effing thief." I couldn't like
Yeah.
it outraged me because, like I said, I'm from Brooklyn originally. I'm not. You're no tourista. I know that you have dollars on you.
Yeah, for sure.
Did she offer to read your palm or anything? I mean, along with
Nothing.
the other 3.
Settle for a little mini happy ending. Or
Some
something
kind
like
of
that.
prediction about the outcome of your future. What would have been in
People
order?
move-
No.
That's the thing. Like people pull moves, but that feels more like a Miami move. Like that's the one thing I respect about New York is people talk a lot
Yeah.
about it. People actually are, the issues that they're forward and straight up. It's not that they're actually BSers. Like
No,
that's more of a I joked about right now saying that's New York. It's actually more of a Miami move than New York. Miami, I would expect that exact thing. That's what
what offended me.
around
Like
the arena would do that exact thing. Like you pay for the shish kebab, you give them 10, they tell you it's 6, and then they just keep the 10, and you have to negotiate to get your freaking money back. But New York, they're very honest and to a point, so it can come off mean. But they don't. The vendors are really good about stuff like that. Like
they used to be, and then this is not to get political, but I could see why this kind of stuff might fuel some anti-immigrant sentiment because it looked like it was somebody that might have just gotten off a bus somewhere or gotten shipped there from Texas. And look, and then I reflected on it 2 minutes later. I said, obviously she needs the $3 more
see the money
than
that
I
fast.
do.
That move. I mean.
But it's still shitty because
obviously.
because that's not the New York and Brooklyn I grew up with. People would try to pull moves on you. They would play 3-card Monte. You'd have a little fun. You'd get some entertainment for your rip-off dollar. But this was like just blatant, and it annoyed me. There was another incident that also was you wouldn't see in the old New York, and this involved an aggressive
You also,
panhandler.
I feel like you pulled a tourist move. Like you go to the cart. That you don't buy stuff from that person. Like that's the tourist move. So that might have been always New York because I, being from South Florida, know who you buy. Like when you're at the red light and the guy's selling you a drink,
Right.
that guy's probably the person that's going to pull the friggin' move.
It's like buying mangoes in a bag while you're waiting on the 826.
Every day, the one that has regular customers. That's also the thing is, I feel like you did pull a tourist move because did you see lines around this person? Like I feel like people weren't buying a lot of water.
But it was just the closest, most readily available, and I was thirsty.
Tourist move. That's literally what the tourist does, and then they're shocked. Oh my god, New York's so bad. No, you're just an idiot.
So you're saying blame the victim? It's my fault, but that's true.
I shouldn't victim blame. But again, as a New York, like if I did it and it happened to me, then I'd be mad at New York. You're from New York, like like
so here was outrageous, or the thing that kind of got me number 2, but it ended up becoming a karma boomerang, but that I don't know if I felt bad. All right. Had breakfast, of all places, Grand Central Terminal, after we dropped off the rental car. And it was me, my daughter, and Val, and we dropped the car on East 44th. I saw Grand Central Terminal. I know Grand Central Terminal. It's actually a beautiful building. The interior, the grand hallway, and then you go down below, and there's a food court there, and also has some great things. They have an offshoot of Veselka, which I don't know if you know that place. It's a Ukrainian restaurant that was in the East Village that I used to go to, very inebriated at 3:00 in the morning. But they have great pierogies and other kinds of breakfast fare. So got some pierogies. My daughter didn't want pierogies. We had to go to the French patisserie, and she got some sort of a baguette thing and a croissant. And then we go basically go to this little table area where there's a bunch of people eating, and a panhandler comes up to me. Now in the old days, a panhandler, I would actually consider giving some money if they had a good line, if they told a good joke, and if they just, got some sort of laughter out of me, or at least tell some sort of good sob story. But this guy just came right up and says, "Yo, give me $1."
Were you at the track? Were you at Yonkers?
You know, I
Oh,
felt
you were at
like I
Grand
was
Central.
I
Yeah.
felt like I was at the old OTB on Avenue U.
It
was
sounds like it, yeah. The Jamaica OTB, my favorite place
and
ever
again,
in New York
that
City.
set me off. It offended my Brooklyn sensibilities. I was like, yo, I said, no, I ain't got no dollars.
Yo, I got nothing.
I got
Exactly.
nothing.
You're like,
I'm
I
not
ain't
even
got-
carrying a wallet. Nothing. I have zero on me.
And it
I'm in
just
New York
like
City.
it was so brazen, and there was no entertainment value. There was no joke. You know, sometimes, riding on the subway, you'd see some really good entertainment. You would
Hey,
be
you'd see
very
jugglers, all kinds of crazy
yeah,
stuff.
they would
Yeah.
give out the little card saying they're deaf, and then they would
Hey, Lou, I got a sucker here. Come on in. Yeah, right.
there was some sort of forethought involved, but this was just, yo, give me $1. And I was like, get away. And then he went off to the side. And he must
It wasn't Larry the Leaper, this guy, was it?
I don't know.
Our good friend. Everybody's saying or implying it sounds like the Leaper. Yo, you got $1.
All
Like
I
he
know
was going
is
up to our man from Deal Volkswagen
he
while
must
he was
have done
making
it.
bets.
He must have done it a couple of more times, or he must have had some history, because he was off to the side, and then I see first a uniformed police officer came over to him and had a chat. Now, I didn't say anything or complain to nobody,
Yeah.
but again, the uniformed officer had a talk with him, went away, and then next thing I know, the guy is still there, and I don't know what he did, but then next thing I know, a plainclothes officer is coming up to him and just like peppering him with questions, and eventually asked for his ID, and then arrest him. He actually
Wow.
slapped the cuffs on him. So this guy obviously must have had some sort of history there bothering people, or maybe some of the merchants saw him and recognized him and
That's
said,
the thing. It's not great for business.
Yeah.
Sadly.
And he was being a little aggressive, no doubt
And he
about
was
it.
it
aggressive.
was, I guess, aggressive panhandling is now being dealt with. And I felt a little bad, but I was saying, maybe if you had a little bit better rap, then yo, give me $1. Wouldn't be wearing the
I
silver
think
bracelets.
that's transparent. That's what you want. If
Exactly.
Roger Goodell was that transparent, we'd all know a lot more about what really goes on in the NFL. But yeah, that's great. I mean, why sugarcoat the thing? Yo, give me $1, Mayo.
That's
What
what's
would have been
gonna
great is if he used your name and he knew it was you from the show, like he was a fan. What if he recognized you and said, "Hey, I watch Mike Mayo's Lunchbox every day on my cell phone.
Give me a dollar.
I know
like,
you
yo,
have
I
money.
know you got a couple of
I know
dollars,
you have
'cause
money, and you're eating too much, and so why don't you give me something so I
Yo,
can get
give me
something?"
some of that tip money that you're
Yeah.
always smearing the people with. That's it. Hey, let's take our first break, and then we'll come back with a contest winner, and I'll actually get into the food portion of the New York trip, which was incredible. And
You had a
also,
giant knish somewhere. Was that?
Yeah,
That
that
kid
was
is
yesterday.
nuts.
And
Some deli yesterday. Very nice.
Second Avenue Deli, which is now no longer on Second Avenue, but actually on Third Avenue and 33rd Street, and even that is a New York story. We'll get to that after. First, I got to say how much I missed Tropical Acres, and especially the Monday and Tuesday half-price wine days. It's now Wednesday. I've already come back. I saw that there was some very lively discussions on the Let's Eat group. I tried to stay away. It was very good. I did not chime in. I was not doing much adminning, but I did see that a post got approved about a person was worrying about, if they go to Tropical Acres on a Monday, will the executive chef be off, and will their steak still come out just as good?
Oh,
Did you see
I
that?
saw that.
post?
What the heck is that?
Who's the executive chef? I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
That's
The
one of the
executive chef is sitting there, saying, "Hey, that all looks good," and
What does that mean?
I would imagine after 75 years,
yeah.
they probably can handle an evening with some of their assistant and associate cooks.
First off, they're off on Sundays usually, so they are only working.
Jack
6
could do
to
it
8
himself.
weeks.
What are you kidding me?
Secondly,
everyone does.
Secondly, they don't really have an executive name chef. They do have some longtime chefs in the kitchen. There is a culinary director, but Jack Studiali and his son Joe, I mean, basically everybody there is a utility man. Everybody could get on the grill at any time.
Joe
if
cooked the
need
steaks
be.
for us, and they were freaking amazing. So,
So I wouldn't worry about who's manning the grill on a given night at Tropical Acres, because it's always going to come out good. And if it's not to your satisfaction, then of course just say something and they'll whisk it away and redo it, because that's the way they do things at Tropical Acres. Like you said, Defo, 75 years means they're doing something right. They've got the greatest in service and hospitality, along with the quality and the value. You get those great prime ribs, those big slabs of prime rib that's still in the $30 range, $40 if you get the big king cut. You're going to pay double that at some of these places down here. It is open from Monday through Saturday, and don't forget, Easter Sunday is coming up. It's a week from this Sunday, and you want to get in the reservations book because it's the rare Sunday that they are serving for the holiday. They're going to have all your Easter favorites, lamb and ham, special holiday menu, but the prices are still going to be gentle because that's the way they do it. Give them a call at 954-989-2500, 954-989-2500. Get in the book today. Don't forget, Monday, Tuesday, half-price wine, happy hour in the bar, 4:30 to 6:30, Monday through Friday, and, of course, your loyalty reward program card. For every 12 entrees that you purchase, you get the 13th one on the house, up to a $35 value. That will get you one of those nice cuts of prime rib or a petite filet mignon. Some of the other things, you might have to fork over $1 or $2 if you still have the loyalty reward club card using your 13th punch. You can't find a better deal than that, not even at McDonald's. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you, Tropical Acres.
All right, Mike Mayo devours New York. We'll have those stories and more coming up on Mike Mayo's Lunchbox.
Food from a scratch kitchen, delicious drinks and house-made spirits from a craft bar, a great vibe inside and out with a spacious patio. I'm talking about Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap, Fort Lauderdale, in the heart of the city at 525 North Federal Highway. It's open 7 days for lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch with classics like fried chicken and waffles and shrimp and grits, and creative items like pecan-crusted salmon and a fried green tomato BLT. And the drinks? Smooth sipping and so good. There's convenient free parking and a garage next door, happy hour at the bar, an entire patio, 4 to 7 Monday to Friday, and live music every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It's pet and people friendly and with cozy fire pits for when the temperature dips. For reservations and more information, go to batchsouthernkitchen.com. Hey, it's Mayo here for Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Since 1951, for over 70 years, the home of freshness. I've been a customer for over 3 decades, and it's the place to go for poultry, steaks, meats, and, of course, their unbelievable selection of fish and seafood. They've got it all. Key West pink shrimp, grouper, snapper, lobster, and, of course, Florida stone crab claws of all sizes. Don't forget their famous fish dip and a full selection of prepared foods. It's located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, just across from the Seminole Classic Casino. Doug Carter and crew will take great care of you. Make sure to check out their weekly specials and daily catch online at DelawareChicken.com. Quality, value, freshness, that's the Delaware way. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, and also now with a new location on Las Olas Boulevard. Those are my spots. Upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. For an exquisite sushi experience, Kaizen Sushi Bar and Grill in Fort Lauderdale is the place to go. 5640 North Federal Highway, just north of Commercial Boulevard. Chef owner Hui Lam, he's a sushi savant, slicing and serving pristine fish and seafood flown in directly from Japan and around the world. Nigiri, sashimi, special rolls, and omakase dinners. He's ruined me from going anywhere else. It's that good. Open 7 days for dinner and also for lunch on weekends. Even if you're not a sushi fan, they have great cooked options, including steaks, chops, rice and noodles, and other Japanese dishes. It's fantastic. For reservations and information, go to kaizenflorida.com. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. Delicious Mexican food with innovative twists. Margaritas with a medley of tongue-tingling flavors. I'm talking about Taco Craft, Taqueria, and Tequila Bar. The place to go on Taco Tuesday and every day. It's located at 510 North Federal and Highway in Fort Lauderdale, and also in Lauderdale by the Sea at Plantation Walk, and soon in Coral Springs. Taco Craft has specials every day, including bottomless drinks for a Sunday brunch, and Taco Tuesdays with their $4 premium tacos, including their new burrilla tacos with bone marrow broth. Oh, it's so good. They've even made a taco lover out of me, and they've got so much more, including fajitas, that open-faced smashed cheeseburger tortilla that's new, and a guacamole sample that's an explosion of flavors. The kitchen is open late. There's delivery and takeout. For more information, go to tacocraft.com. Tell them Mike Mayo, the Lunchbox, sent you. All right, we're back on the Lunchbox, a little bit of a home show, and just a note, actually a sponsor note. Kaizen, our friend Hui, has now opened for lunch service 7 days a week.
Oh, wow.
Weekdays
That's big news.
and weekends, yes.
You have any kind of headline flashing sound effect you can make there, Lubie? Because that's a big announcement to just slide in there, Mayo.
He started it this past Monday. Again, now every day open for lunch and dinner, 7 days a week. He's got the staffing levels up. He's got the appropriate chefs and sushi cutters in place. He does a great job. It's one of my favorite places, and we're going to be celebrating the start of lunch service with a live lunchbox from Kaizen, and he'll be slicing and dicing some of that beautiful fish for us next Tuesday. We're going to be in there to do a show on 26. So
sounds great.
That's going to be good. Meanwhile, all right, let's get back. Oh, let's get a contest winner out of the way before it gets swallowed up in the tsunami of New York eating. But it was St. Patty's Day question. Very easy. It was The Field, Irish pub and eatery on Griffin Road. And I was going with the theme of Field of Dreams for the first clue with Ray Kinsella and Shula's Joe Jackson. And The Field had a raucous celebration for St. Patty's Day over the weekend, as did Shenanigans, as did most of New York. I had some good Guinness over the weekend there with a shot of Jameson's. But anyway, a lot of people got the winning restaurant. A lot of people got the winning horse or got backed into it with a scratch, because in the last jump on that 12th race, that was the contest race, the favorite got up and just nipped a 6-1 shot at the wire. Number one, Better Bet, was the winner. So we had 11 people going into the tiebreaker basketball game, which I never gave out on the show on Friday. I had to mention it on the written clues on the group, but everybody eventually figured it out. And Paul Freitas, congratulations, because in the Golden State Warriors Los Angeles Lakers game, the final score was 128-121, final margin of 7, and Paul Freitas was the only one that had Golden State Warriors by 7. A couple had 6, a couple had
much
10.
better can you do?
That's amazing.
You hit it right on the head, for God's sake.
All 3 elements. Congratulations, Paul Freitas. You and a guest will win a brunch for 2 at 10 Palms at fabulous Gulfstream Park. And again, if you want to make your contest winning date April 21st, then you could join us. I don't know if anybody wants to do that, but for the Lunchbox Brunch Bash, it's back, baby. And if you want to join us, you can get a discounted rate, 20% off the usual $55 entry fee, $44 plus tax and tip will get you an all-you-can-eat all-day buffet at a table overlooking the races on Sunday, April 21st. And you'll be joined by me, Lubie, Defo, maybe Tony Segreto. We'll be maybe giving out winners. I've been cold as ice when it comes to the horse. You've been doing well, though, Defo, right?
Hanging in there. Those Fridays, I've been leaving with a profit.
Nice. Do you give it back on Saturdays?
Gave a little back this Saturday.
It's
but,
like going to shul.
Yeah.
They pass around the tzedakah box where you got to put a little
That's it.
in.
You take the money right out the next day. I've been hanging in there. I mean, picking my share of winners. Things haven't necessarily configured exactly as you would like. You know the situation where you have all the horses in the last leg of a bet. What is that? The vertical, horizontal bet, whatever the hell it is. And, you get the chalk every time, it seems like, when you have other possibilities. So.
Yeah, it's annoying when you have the all but. Yeah, that's been happening to me. And I've been getting, nobody wants to hear it. 4 out of 5, 3 out of 4, these pick fours where I start off with like a 40-1 shot. And all I need is like this 8-5 shot to finish. And he finishes second by a head. And it's just very, very annoying. So, but anyway, getting back to the food in New York, Defo, you're looking like you're about to.
Oh no! You know what? I got this wrong. So I was going to bring something up here. I thought that CBS had done a survey of all of the coaches in the NCAA tournament. They may have included this category, but this wasn't the one I was sent. I thought it was what their favorite food was, but it was what their favorite music is.
Oh, okay.
So they have all of that takeoff on a Mayo theme about how to handicap the tournament. I guess you could have a field day, although it'd be pretty tough to pinpoint some of these obscure locations that some of these schools come from, what it is that they're known for in terms of culinary activity. But yeah, I mean, it might be something to take into consideration. But supposedly Dusty May had like a bizarre choice, but I can't find it here in the
For music?
Yeah,
Was it Dusty Springfield? Because that would make some sort of word association sense.
Dusty, yeah, going with the Dusty theme. No, I can't
Son of a
imagine
preacher, and I think he really was a son of a preacher.
I doubt seriously he. You know what? All basketball coaches should be aware of the Dusty Springfield hit, which all degenerates embrace: wishing and hoping and praying. How many times have we been in that mode? But yeah, I can't imagine Dusty May would know who Dusty Springfield was. He's more likely to know Dusty Rhodes for sure.
I think you might know Dusty Springfield because if you name Dusty, you should know all the Dusties out there.
Dusties, there you go.
Like I know all the famous people named Mayo. Some of them had a health clinic. Some of them was I think.
What do you got? You got Dusty Baker, Dusty Rhodes, Dusty Springfield.
Yeah.
What else? Give me some more Dusties.
Baker. I don't know a lot of Dusties.
How many Dusties are there, man? Dusty May.
Somebody's got to come up with some more food in New York. I'm going to give you a list of what do you want to talk? We could talk about Mr. Softy truck. We could talk about chocolates.
Oh yeah, you hit a Mr. Softy truck. There still are Mr. Softy trucks.
First of all, spring has arrived, and spring did come early. It was actually officially here on Tuesday, but it was a gorgeous day on Sunday.
Did they ring a bell or play the carnival music?
Well, it's the
okay.
However, the first few Mr. Softy trucks that we encountered on Sunday, and again,
there were more than one. You ran into Mr. Softy
everywhere. They multiplied.
Who would have thought that?
Now, there must be some neighborhoods that have noise ordinances because some of them were silent, except for the hum of the the motorized soft serve machines. But some of them did play the jingles, and those, I guess, were in more densely populated areas. But the first one we encountered was outside.
How could you not have loved Mr. Softy as a kid growing up in New York? I mean, obviously, with me, it was in the Stone Age, and this was a huge innovation, this soft ice cream. But wow, I mean, that was really you had to hold out and ignore the good humor man, even if he was a friend of yours. And wait for Mr. Softy to come around because it was a whole different experience.
Okay, so it's not an ice cream truck; it's a mobile.
It's a truck, yeah.
It's a truck, so it's mobile. But a lot of times they just set up camp at certain strategic locations. And again, that we found the truck outside the Brooklyn Public Library, which is near Grand Army Plaza. Very big,
But I'm saying it doesn't have like different kinds of ice cream, like ice cream sandwiches, ice cream bars. It's not an ice cream truck.
Mr. Softy is known, as the name implies, Mr. Softy for its soft serve ice cream. It's not like a humor truck. They don't have all the different things frozen on a stick and the icicle pops. They have they have the twist cones. They can make a shake for you. They can make a soft serve sundae. It's kind of like a Carvel on wheels. Carvel, I know, also has hard ice cream, but growing up, this is where Defo and I have gotten our love of soft serve ice cream from Mr. Softy, from Carvel. And after getting ripped off by the woman with the water, we went over we saw the Mr. Softy truck. We had our thirst quenched, but we were feeling a little bit dizzy. We had low blood sugar, me and my daughter. We said,
how is this possible?
I'm sure.
Let's get some ice cream. Now, here's the thing. I was not mad at the Mr. Softy truck, even though it had no prices posted.
Oh, really?
At that point,
it's all market price in New York City.
Right.
And you're thinking, what market did you buy this crap at?
I was willing to pay any price.
Yeah.
Both of us had the very basic single twist cone of both chocolate and vanilla. She got the rainbow sprinkles.
Oh, what's that run these days? Wow, that's interesting.
Well, again, I was saying, you know what?
It used to be like a quarter.
As long as it's not over $10, I'm happy. And bing, 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 it was $5 each, $10. no tip, but they only took plastic. He doesn't want to take any cash, so I just threw that on the credit card. It's become an electronic world, and
That's
but
funny.
got our 2 soft serve ice cream cones, and we sat on the steps of the Brooklyn Public Library and just lapped it up. It was so good. It was very light and airy ice cream, not thick and dense. My daughter gave it a big thumbs up. She had never had Mr. Softy before, and it was just a great father-daughter bonding moment, and a wonderful New York Brooklyn memory. So that was Mr. Softy. Now we can go from we have some bagels experiences. We have some pizza. I had some mediocre pizza in New York.
But what, in like the city though, right? Because Times Square pizza sucks.
So here's the thing. I've been hanging around too many fancy people or bougie people, I guess. The first morning that we arrived, we actually rented a car at JFK, and I went right to my old neighborhood, and I did get a great slice of New York pizza at
Yes.
my local. It's called La Villa. It opens at 11 o'clock. We got in there at 11:20, and it was a fresh pie out of the oven, and they used only the finest cheese, mozzarella. That was just beautiful, and a sauce that's not sweet at all, just all pure, kind of savory, tangy, and the crust. It's that perfect, crispy but still airy and doughy. It was the slice of my dreams. It is now up to $4.25, which is a little bit more expensive than the 25-cent slices.
Slice.
It wasn't the big one. It was a nice, modest slice. I meant to post it places, but my phone kept running out of out of storage, so I couldn't post things as much as I wanted. But it was a great slice. But then I had a couple other pizza experiences. One time, dinner in Park Slope, Brooklyn, with my friend Josh Rabinowitz, who was nice enough to put us up in his apartment for 2 nights. And he said, "Oh, let's go to pizza." I said, I felt like going.
What happened after 2 nights?
We got kicked out. No, we went over. We went into the city. We went into the big borough of Manhattan. We stayed at the Warwick Hotel for 2 nights. So it was 2 nights in Brooklyn, 2 nights in Manhattan.
What the hotel run you?
That was 0.0. It was points.
What? Points.
Oh, points. Okay. Yeah.
They still charge a daily, what do they call it, activities fee or something for using the
and then you do
gym.
nothing, and it's $106.
It was $33 a day for the gym I didn't use, so it was $66.
You should have got down to the gym at least, push some weights around or something.
We did a lot of walking.
Stairmaster.
But so we went. My friend, I wanted like a traditional pizza place where we could go get like a regular New York pie. He was like, "Oh, there's this place called Numero 28. It's really good. It has like this oval style, and it's a little different. It's called Roman pizza. It's Roman style pizza." And this place he took me to, it turns out it's a freaking chain that they had a location in Miami that closed. That's how good it was. So it was
seemed a shame to travel all the way to New York City. Craving New York authentic
it was
pizza,
stretched
that,
thin.
yeah.
It didn't have the greatest of flavors. We had like a basic pepperoni, and it was like $32 for a pizza that like had 8 slices in this long rectangular ovular thing.
You should have appreciated the fact that it was shaped like a racetrack. I mean, what did it look like? Yonkers?
It's oblong.
Was it 5/8 of a mile? I mean,
I got
what
split
kind of
out of
size
the
are we talking about
exacta.
here?
That's the problem. No, I just, you know what? It wasn't a terrible pizza, but it was just an underwhelming pizza considering I'm in Brooklyn, and it's just like not the style pizza that I was going for. And my friend just goes, "I like it. I like the pizza. It tastes good." And I was like, okay, if I was actually.
It's doubly disappointing.
Yeah.
Not only did you have a lousy slice of pizza, but you were in the place, the mecca of pizza.
Exactly.
For God's sake.
And then last night we went again. It was like a day where we were just all hungry and tired and walking around all day. And we just ended up at this like kind of like high-end Neapolitan pizza place, pasta place around the corner from the hotel on 55th Street, 6th Avenue.
How many days were you there? 4?
4. I ate like at least for
we
17
counted
days.
11 meals already, Lubie.
But it was
Not
one of these
including,
Neapolitan,
ice cream. Yeah.
Neapolitan pies, the puffy ones that are soft in the middle. And it was good. It was the tartufo with the mushrooms and the truffle cream sauce and a little bit of prosciutto on top, and it was fine, but it's like I could get that at Louis Bassi. So like it was like all these things that just not terrible, but I would call it mediocre, especially when at the end of the meal the bill arrived and it was for one of these Neapolitan pizza, a pasta dish, a calamari, appetizer, and 1 glass of wine, 2 bottles of sparkling water, $134, including the tip. Was like,
Jeez.
that seemed a little pricey, but welcome to New York, kid, right?
There you go. No,
all right,
you're going to get creamed. I mean, the
let's
prices.
all right. Now that I've gotten all the kind of
Yeah.
bitching out of the way, let's do
Did
another
you have
break.
any fun? Did you have
Yes.
any good experiences?
I'm building to the big finish.
You've got everybody like totally depressed here on the show, and we're only like 45 minutes into it.
Building to one of the best meals, best experiences.
I'm ready to jump
I've
off the
had.
Brooklyn Bridge at this point. I mean, it sounds very disappointing. by
After
me.
this next break, I'm going to tell you about one of the best meals I've had in my
good. All
life.
right.
Top
Nice.
5. I'm
All
not
right.
even going to talk about the expense because
Oh, it had to be very
Val
expensive, I
paid
would
for it.
imagine.
But Le Bernardine, which is 2 Michelin star, whatever. We'll talk about it after the next
You
break.
stuck
But
her
first,
with the check. You're amazing, Mayo.
no. Well,
You picked up the tab on a lousy $130 pizza experience. While she paid
100%.
She paid for this, and then
$1,000
she
for two
said
at,
the next 20 dinners
La
are on you.
Schmenkerie or whatever that is.
Exactly.
Oh my god!
Hey, let's talk about a place that has good value. And I also was pleased to see that one of the Let's Eat regulars who owns the Olympia Flame Diner up in Deerfield, our friend Patty Miranda, made it down to Batch in Fort Lauderdale
Nice.
over the weekend. And she gave it high praise and complimented us for recommending it. She had the great drop biscuits. She had the Sunday brunch, including the chicken and waffles. And of course, I'm talking about Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap. It's a great place to go, whether it's brunch, lunch, or dinner. They have all your Southern classics, and they make it delicious there. So go check them out. 525 North Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale. They have the free parking garage right next door on that side street, and that's the key to the whole experience because we don't have subway trains that go right to the restaurant door in South Florida. You have to kind of maybe drive around a little bit, and the free parking situation makes it all the more pleasurable to check out Batch. They have great drinks from their craft mixologists, including their pecan-infused whiskeys. They have other premium whiskeys and bourbons. Check them out. The Lunchbox sent you. Kevin, Brandon, the whole crew there, they do a great job. 525 North Federal Highway, open 7 days. Batch, New Southern Kitchen and Tap.
Really is a terrific place. Not surprising to see people really enjoying themselves, even being overwhelmed in terms of their satisfaction with what they offer. It's a great place. Batch, check it out for yourself, and we'll come back with more. Mike Mayo has a good experience somewhere. It's like the LeBron James decision show so far. I mean, we're waiting for you to just say, "I'm going to Miami."
Here's the good experience. 2 delis and a fancy French place. They were all top-notch experiences. We'll talk about that after the break. To me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial. Serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. Go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the black and grilled wings, and of course the kitchens are open late. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. For Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me, I love family-run places with quality food at fair prices served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and be happy. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks, just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 in the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value for tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. All right, we're back on the Lunchbox. Now we get to the good stuff. I mean, real quickly, I'll rattle off. I mean, props to the original Nathan's in Coney Island. There's nothing like the snap of a Nathan's hot dog right off the grill. And as me and my daughter were eating them on the Saturday afternoon, we just looked at each other. She had ketchup on hers. I looked at her with disgust. I had mustard on mine.
They make a face.
I made a face, but
not you. When she orders it, oh, she put her own ketchup.
No, you put your own ketchup on there. But the bottom line is, we're both eating them, and we both at the same time looked up and said, "Can you imagine eating 72 of these in 10 minutes?" Like, Joey Chestnut is insane. Had great fries. All right, we had 2 great deli experiences in New York. One at my the one I grew up with, the Mill Basin Kosher Deli on Avenue T in my neighborhood. It's kind of what you call a hidden gem, because it's not known by tourists, but still going strong 50 years in.
Wow.
One of the original owners, Mark, is still involved, and they are doing a great job. And then one of the counter guys who basically also was serving us at tables gave us our matzo ball soup and pastrami sandwich. They do have a soup and half sandwich special every day, but he recognized me because my dad used to go in there. His dental office was 2 blocks away, would be in there for lunch 3 times a week. And his name was Jay, and he's worked there for 30 years.
Wow.
And he knew that my dad had passed, but that was nice. We just had a really good bowl of matzo ball soup and a pastrami sandwich. My daughter, all of a sudden, she's connecting to her Jewishness, and she said yesterday, after walking around, she wanted to go to another deli, and this one was the Second Avenue Deli that started off on Second Avenue. But after kind of a sad story, the founder, Abe Lewin, a guy named Abe, was actually shot and killed in a robbery, taking the day's receipts to the bank one day. And after that, the place closed, but it was reopened by some of his relatives, and they opened up on 33rd Street. Always a nice New York story, right? A cheery New York story, Defo. But it's good to see that not only did they reopen in a new location on 3rd Avenue and 33rd Street, they actually now have a second location on the Upper East Side, and they are also kosher deli, kosher meats. And it is the pastrami there, the way it was piled high, and I got a baked potato knish that they make in house. I thought of you, Defo. We had matzo ball soup. They bring out the pickles. We had a nice chat with the owner. Now
you do the pickles.
Oh, pickles with the coleslaw. And the guy who owns it now, Steve. We were chatting, and I told him, that I'm from Brooklyn originally. I love delis. I used to go. I mentioned Al Goldstein because Al Goldstein, who obviously famous South Floridian character and pornographer, but he spent his final years as a greeter at the Second Avenue Deli. Steve, of course, knew Al because he hired him. So we were talking about Al a little bit. We talked about how my daughter works at a deli, Grandpa's now, in Dania Beach. And then he brought out like a whole bunch of extra plates, some kasha vanishkas and mushroom barley.
Nice. You mayoed in New York.
Oh, yeah. I did the Mayo move in New York.
Good for you.
And we just had a lunch feast. It was so good. It was just, and even my daughter was saying, "Oh, this pastrami is good." So that was all very, very positive stuff. And now the big finish. Uh, First time that I've ever been to Le Bernardin. It is a 3 Michelin star restaurant.
Wow.
I didn't realize it was a 3 Michelin star. I know that it's been a New York landmark for the power lunch crowd for a long time. And let me just read the first sentence of the Michelin Guide's rating of the thing. Again, 3 stars, which is the top. Exceptional cuisine. When the definitive history of New York City's dining scene is written, Le Bernardin will have a chapter all to itself.
Wow.
McGee, Lacause, and Eric Ripert's icon has been entertaining the city's movers and shakers for over 20 years, and its popularity remains undimmed. So basically, it is all that it's cracked up to be. I didn't know what to do because they have a like a 3-course menu for lunch, but everything looked so good. We ended up going for the 8-course tasting menu at lunchtime with wine service. I could recite for you every course by heart right now because that's how good it was. I will spare you all those details, except to say that the tuna tartare with the sea urchin on top and a horseradish broth was one of the finest things that I put in my mouth. And that was course number 1 until, of course, I got to course number 2, which was the poached langoustine and a consomme that it seemed like it had to be like 8 hours of work that just went into this little consomme. And you know how they all come around the table at the same time, the service, and it's like the Bolshoi ballet where they all like pour in the little consomme on top of the poached langoustine simultaneously. And I just want to genuflect and say, oh yeah, this is worth any price. And I'm bitching about the $3 that the water woman kept. But wow, I could go on and on. They had a piece of like poached, again, very gently cooked salmon that was topped with this layer of caviar. It must have been beluga. It was so good. Defo, I don't know if you appreciate fine French cuisine or this seafood that is just, it was like kissed by Poseidon himself.
There it is.
I don't know. If I saw the check, I'd probably prefer the Nathan's hot
I'm
dog.
scared to know what.
Luckily, I did
I mean,
not
it
see the
sounds
check.
good. Yeah.
Others were paying for me to
Yeah.
to make me happy, and it was
What level of
unbelievable.
foo is that, man? I mean, that's way up there.
It's 3 Michelin star level
Wow.
of foo, which is pretty foo. But let me tell you this:
It was well worth
the
it.
service was not snooty, except for the first sommelier, this woman who kind of, her nose is perpetually upturned, and she has one of those little silver sifter things.
Well, when you ordered a $300 bottle of wine, and she looked at you and said, "Dishwater."
no,
You're like,
we
really? That's
because
dishwater?
I didn't even know where to begin on the wine list. We just said we'll take the wine pairings with the 8-course tasting menu. So
wow. Okay.
then
Very
she
good.
went
Wow, that
away,
was a
and
mistake, yeah.
I guess sommelier number 2, the one who doesn't have to do any real
At
thinking.
that point, you knew Val was paying when you made that comment, right? Take whatever you're bringing.
I did not see the final tab.
Yeah.
I can only tell you what the 8-course testing menu with wine runs. Do you want to venture a guess for one person what the 8-course lunch tasting menu?
I mean, is
with
this
wine?
one? This is lunch too. Okay, I'm
This
going to
is lunch.
say.
But you got to remember, in New York City, lunch is often a more.
I'm going to say $300.
It's a more prestigious or a more popular meal in Midtown Manhattan.
3 sticks.
That would be without the wine. $325 for the 8-course testing.
There you go.
menu.
Okay,
Jesus.
well, that's what you ask. All right.
That's
With
what
the
I like.
wine,
Throw in some wine. Now it's $5.
$4.95 exactly.
Okay. All right, a nickel.
I,
You could have
what?
brunch
I
at the
don't-
Breakers for that, or whatever that one
That's
was.
right.
or-
And I tell you what,
yeah.
this is a once in a lifetime experience.
yeah,
And I put it up there at the top with my meal that I had one time at French Laundry. Thomas Keller, when he only was operating the French Laundry. Villa d'Este in Lake Como, Italy. I had lunch there one time. It was great. So many great meals.
No,
so
are they
little
showing
time.
Last Tango in Paris? Like, is this like a French Moderanos?
No, there is none of that.
No.
Hey,
No
let's
sticks of butter
speaking
involved?
of a fine culinary experience that awaits, if you would like, talking about Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival is throwing a shindig, a multi-course, 4-course dinner for International Whiskey Day. It's going to be a week from today, March 27th, right at the House on the River, which is on the banks of the New River in Fort Lauderdale. It's going to be a great time. 4 courses, including featuring some great grilled and barbecued items from pitmasters Ron Dimfelmeyer and Jeremy Perkins. We re-aired that episode on Monday. Had a good time with them with their big green eggs, and they're going to be Oh, cooking up a storm, including that big Dino Brontosaurus beef rib. That's going to be the main course. Again, you want to get your tickets now. VLFoodWine.com, VLFoodWine.com for your 4-course tasting dinner. And of course, whiskey cocktails crafted by master mixologist Miles Robinson. He is a past winner of the bar fight competition at the Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival. Going to be a great time. I'm going to be there. Hopefully, it's going to be a beautiful night. We'll be outside on the river celebrating a beautiful spring day and whiskey day. Do we have one more break,
Yes,
Lubie? We do. Let's take it, come back, and wrap up this puppy in a $1,000 bow. Great Italian food in a beautiful beachfront setting. Have I got the place for you? Casa Calabria at the Ocean Manor Resort, 4040 Galt Ocean Drive in Fort Lauderdale. Highly rated across all the restaurant review platforms and totally Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. Delicious, authentic Southern Italian food in a cozy dining room overlooking the Atlantic. Live music in the lounge, full bar, and a great wine list. Owner Frank Talrico takes great pride in his family recipes from his native Calabria. Fresh fish and seafood, veal, house-made pastas, and marinara sauces smooth as silk. You gotta try the imported meats and cheeses on the antipasto platters, and don't miss that ricotta gnocchi. Fluffy little pillows straight from heaven. Casa Calabria, open for dinner Tuesday through Sunday, closed on Mondays. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, it's Mike Mayo. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a good bagel with Nova or some matzo ball soup, homemade knishes, or a great deli pastrami sandwich on rye, you know where I go? Grandpa's Cafe in Dania Beach. It's been around a long time, an institution, but a little over a year ago, a pair of New Yorkers came in, bought it, and refurbished the place. It's beautiful, and they are now serving great breakfast, brunch, lunch. They've got the omelets. They've got eggs Benedict. They've got all kinds of great baked goods like rugelach. Grandpa's is just off Federal Highway on Southwest 1st Street in Dania Beach. It's open 7 days. Go in there, tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. Fish, a sophisticated setting. I'm talking about Corvina Seafood Grill. It's at 110 Plaza Real South in Boca Raton, just south of Palmetto Park Road. It's the place to go for the freshest and local seafood and fish, some of it with a Peruvian twist like their great ceviches. It's open 7 days for dinner. They also have happy hours 7 days a week. You don't want to miss it. It's a great place. CorvinaBocaRaton.com for more information and reservations. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. All right. Before we go, I got to put in the good word about our friends at Delaware Chicken Market and Seafood. It is a great place to go for home entertaining, especially with the spring holidays coming up, Easter meals, and Passover next month. So you're going to want to check out that gefilte fish. It's house made, Defo. I'm telling you.
I tell you what was great. I mean, the fresh chicken that I got there, that Mustang cooked up with the Crowder powder as the season,
nice,
was amazing.
I bet
Absolutely.
that didn't run you.
It's such a difference from what you would get if you went to, say, a Publix or a supermarket, got some chicken that was frozen and then defrosted for selling purposes.
Now, you had them cut that up for you, right, into 8 pieces?
It was fantastic. It really
and with
was
the
great.
Crowder power, and I bet it ran significantly lower than 4 figures because it's Delaware chicken.
It was a lot cheaper than that French meal you had. I mean, there's room for that, I guess. Somewhere in your lifetime, maybe somebody, it'd be good to experience.
Delaware chicken, you can have an elevated experience at home by buying some of their.
I would have felt about $2.50 in the hole though by the time they got to the salmon, and I'm saying that's it. I mean, how about a cheeseburger?
No, I tell you what, when you have the 8-course testing menu, you walk out of there and you don't say, I'm still hungry. You say, wow, I am floating on air. I don't need to eat for the rest of my life.
So you don't go to some greasy cart and grab a hot dog right now?
No, I did not do that. That would kind of
You should have feigned that just to, mess with Val.
Nah.
That would have worked.
Wouldn't do that.
Hey, Val, hey, mine, I got to get something to eat here.
No, I was truly appreciative, and I would never do something like that. Anyway, Delaware Chicken and Seafood, 4191 North State Road 7. They're open 7 days a week. You go in there; they'll take great care of you. I mean, Jose and Gene and the crew. They're the best. So go check them out. Open 7 days. Now, getting back to now that I hear myself, and I heard myself give the whole New York tale. I gotta say, I am some kind of a-hole to complain about $3 change and a aggressive panhandler saying, "Yo, give me $1," when I am shedding hundreds of dollars on all kinds of food and drinking activities, some spent by me, some spent by others. What kind of entitled prick am I, Jeff?
That's the word, entitled.
I'd rather not comment on that.
And can I just get one shot in, because I did take a break from Let's Eat, but then I came back, and it's like the algorithms of Facebook know exactly what will get me going. I saw the one person that went to Kelly's Landing Seafood and was griping about their lobster rolls because it was like a little fishy and it only had lobster, claw meat, didn't have any tail meat. And the quote of the day is, "But we didn't complain because we're not like that."
You're gonna
And,
be now.
There you go.
and it's like, oh, but you just complain in front of 147,000 people.
I saw those
No
same people
compunction.
driving on A1A with a big Trump flag, and they had megaphones, and they were screaming, "Kelly's Landing lobster rolls are disappointing."
No, it's like, say something at the time. And I was very, very heartened to see that my former Sentinel colleague and now co-admin on the group, David Schutz, played the role of Mike Mayo while I was away and just basically said, "Oh, so you don't complain, but you're complaining here. Why not say something at the time of service and see how they respond? And then you can have a post that actually means something, because the way that a place handles a complaint is just as instructive and sometimes can be even more rewarding than just going on to social media and griping about it." All right, I'm back to my old self. The vacation mode is over. Defo, a pleasure to see you again.
I'm
Lubie,
sure
we're going to
it
be doing
was.
a little overtime. We're
Yeah.
going to be paying a visit to our friend Eddie Pozzoli, and he's going to have his chef on. So it's later. We're doing a bonus edition because we got to get more vacation shows in the can for next month, because a lot of us are going away for a bunch of days next month. So we're going to be at Corvina Seafood Grill up in Boca later today.
Oh,
We'll
yeah.
throw it
Wow.
on live. We'll throw it on live, but hopefully the re-airing will get
Yeah, re-air seems to do well.
numbers. Yeah. So
Work in April.
that'll be 4:00 today. So running on very little sleep, but that's okay, because I have the fumes of a 4-figure lunch still in my system. So how about that? All right, guys. Tomorrow we might be at even keel. I got to hear from Brad. So we'll see about that. Until then, until tomorrow, we'll be somewhere. Enjoy every pastrami sandwich.
Please push